Time with Shebrew Royalty features remedies for inner healing and outer beauty. Real-time conversations with sisters in the Hebrew Israelite community, focused on healing our spirit, mind, and body, which will contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. Sip a cup of tea, wear your favorite turban, tee, or tunic, and enjoy Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty. Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty features remedies for inner healing and outer beauty. Real-time conversations with sisters in the Hebrew Israelite community, focused on healing our spirit, mind, and body, which will contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. Sip a cup of tea, wear your favorite turban, tee, or tunic, and enjoy Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty.
Shalawam, shalawam, sisters. Shalawam, Shebrews. Come on in. Come on in with your beautiful royal selves. Come on in. Oh my gosh, you all are showing up today and showing out. All praises. Shalawam. Let's see who's in the house. Let's see who's here. We have Sister Carla, who have been here from the beginning. Sister Jeanette, Sister Ashley, Shalawam, Sister Princess, Sister Zoe. Oh my goodness. The water Zoe. Sister Carla says, Shalawam Akwathiam. I know this episode will be just as amazing as the others. Oh, the water sis. Come on in. Yes, it is going to be amazing. This is going to be such an amazing show. I am so excited. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be reminded every Sunday when we go live. So if you haven't already done so, please hit the notification bell and like, share, and subscribe. Come on in. Come on in. So, yes, how was your week? How was your week? Talk to me. Sister Zoe's looking as beautiful as ever, Queen. Thawada, Sister Zoe, Thawada. Yeah, talk to me. How was your week? I had an amazing week, and I am so glad to be back. This is a brand new week, and I'm so glad to be back. So, as you all know, before we get the Royal Tea Party started, we always have to give a big shout out, a big praise to the Almighty I Am that I Am, the God of the Hebrews and the Shebrews, in the name of his son, Christ. I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, and I humbly thank you for being here with me on this broadcast today. I pray that everybody had a blessed week. I pray that you did, and you're here, so that speaks volumes, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in and get started because, like I said, we have a lot for tonight. A lot of excellent information. And so let's get started. Let's get the disclaimers and all of the housekeeping stuff out of the way first. So before moving forward in the discussion, let's talk about the disclaimers. Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. We get it. We understand. and it's okay. It's not meant to be. However, if you come upon this channel and you realize that we are not your cup of tea, just keep searching YouTube. And I am sure that if you continue your search, you will find your perfect cup of tea and your perfect flavor. You owe that to yourself. However, what I do ask is that you not leave any negative or derogatory comments in the chat box, because that would be distasteful. We would really appreciate it, and we thank you in advance. And here we go again. My camera, I don't know what triggers it to go in and out the way it does. I've tried making different movements. Okay, there we go. It doesn't like my hands, I guess. So I probably need to keep my hands to my side just so that this camera will stay put. It is something else. I've tried everything to tweak it and nothing is working. So bear with me. I apologize for all of the zooming in and out. Just ignore it. It'll be okay. Also, although I am a medical provider and a corporate health and wellness coach, and I will be touching on topics of health and wellness on my broadcasts, we will not be utilizing this platform to diagnose or treat anyone's illnesses. If you are experiencing any medical problems, please consult your healthcare practitioner. And the views that you will hear on this channel are those of myself, my guest, and co-hostesses, and not that of any particular church or organization. Let's see here. Also, if you would like to be a guest on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty, please send me an email to shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com. Let me put that information up here for you. And please include a description, a brief description of your services. Here we go. There's the email of your services, your products. Or if there's a topic that you would like to co-host with me, please send me an email to my email address right there, shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com. I would love for us to brainstorm and talk about how we can collaborate to help heal and strengthen our nation. It's by healing and strengthening Shebrews, that will in turn strengthen our nation as a whole. So get with me. I really would like to collaborate with you, and let's talk about this. Also, I would like to introduce my sponsor, Orderly Fashion 144, where you can shop for custom trends, designs, accessories, and apparel for the dapper and chic. This is not just for the sisters, but also the brothers as well. Visit www.orderlyfashion144.com today. And now I will put their information on the screen in case you don't have it. Here we go. And also their email address. Orderly Fashion 144 is looking for fashion models. So if you purchase something from the website, take a full body photo, send your photo in to info@orderlyfashion144.com, and you can receive up to 35% off your orders and one free item a month. In order to do so, you must order at least 3 items monthly from the website. Also, when you order, do not forget to add the discount code for my guests, which is Quala15, Q-A-L-A, my name, 15, to receive 15% off your purchases. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Yes, so visit orderlyfashion144.com today. And one more thing, let's talk about My Guardian Doc. Let me introduce you to My Guardian Doc. Let's take this off the screen. Don't forget, visit Orderly Fashion 144. Okay, give me just a minute. And let's let's talk about My Guardian Doc. I am going to bring their information up on the screen for you. So My Guardian Doc provides compassionate medical guidance and world-class care at a low cost of $27 that everyone can afford. It says here, let My Guardian Doc support you through your health journey ahead. My Guardian Doc's vision is to enhance healthcare for everyone by providing compassionate medical guidance and world-class care to our subscribers around the clock, all for an affordable price of only $27 a month for the entire household, not just for one person, but for the entire household. Our innovative approach combines technology, virtual medical guidance, which is direct care, subscription, medical bill negotiation, and a la carte payment models, which are made possible by the resolve of our management to offer a price that anyone can afford. Our ultimate goal is to make the healthcare system all that it can and should be for everyone. So to learn more about My Guardian Doc, please visit, when you go to the description box below this video, there's the information necessary, the website address, and how you can subscribe for the services. So let My Guardian Doc support you through your healthcare journey ahead. All right. All right, let's get started. Let us get this royalty party started. Let us get it started. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I hope that you are wearing your favorite turban, tee, tunic, or dress. And that being said, let's sip some tea and have healthy talk. Let's get this royalty party started. So sisters, tell me, what is your cup of tea tonight? Talk to me. What is your cup of tea tonight? Shalawam, Lisa. Shalawam. Good to see you. Oh my gosh. Sister Adara. So Southern California is showing up tonight. Oh my goodness. So good to see you all. So good to see you all. So yes, what is your cup of tea? Please put that in the chat box. Let me know what you are drinking tonight. But before I tell you what's in my cup, first I need to show you my cup. I know you've never seen me with a cup like this before. This one is huge, isn't it? Isn't this cup huge? Normally my cups are small and dainty, but tonight I have this cup that deserves honorable mention. So let me give you a little story about this cup. I don't know if you can see it, but it says chosen, 1 Peter 2 and 9. And I was actually shopping in Ross, and I went over to where the teacups are at, of course, and I found 2 teacup and saucer sets, and I put them in my cart, and I just looked at them and I said, oh my gosh, they look like every other teacup and saucer set. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw this cup, but I didn't know what was written on it. And so I looked over, it just caught my eye, and I saw chosen, 1 Peter 2 and 9. And I don't know if you've seen on the banner that's on the YouTube channel, the banner has my logo on it, and 1 Peter 2 and 9 is on my logo. So of course, I knew I had to get this cup. But what really sealed the deal is because there's a sticker on here that says, I am one of a kind. Isn't that amazing? So the company that made this cup, they only made one of these cups. And wouldn't you know, it was sitting in Ross waiting for me, and I got it. So that's why, hence the big cup that I have for tea time tonight. More than likely, you won't be seeing me with this cup all the time, but I just had to show it off tonight. So what's inside of this cup? Organic peppermint tea is my cup of tea tonight. So of course I had to have a sip. And let's watch this video by Horizon Health, which tells us about the 12 reasons to start drinking peppermint tea. Let's look at this video. 12 reasons to start drinking peppermint tea. I'm going to share the screen with you.
Peppermint tea benefits. 12 reasons to start drinking peppermint tea. Originating from the mint family, peppermint is an aromatic herb. A cross between watermint and spearmint is peppermint. A native of Europe and Asia, it has been used for thousands of years for its good, spicy flavor and health benefits. Peppermint is used as a flavoring for breathing mints, candies, and other foods. Besides, many people drink peppermint as a refreshing, caffeine-free beverage. Peppermint leaves contain a variety of essential oils, including menthol, menthone, and limonene. Menthol gives the peppermint its soothing powers and an obvious minty smell. In today's video, we will share with you 12 reasons to start drinking peppermint tea. Number 1. Ease digestive upsets. Peppermint can alleviate digestive symptoms such as gas, bloating, and indigestion. Animal tests suggest that peppermint relaxes the digestive system and can relieve pain. It also inhibits smooth muscle contraction, which can relieve spasms in the gut. An analysis of 9 experiments on 926 patients with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, treated with peppermint oil for at least 2 weeks, concluded that peppermint causes slightly greater symptom relief than placebo. In comparison, in an analysis of 14 clinical trials in nearly 2,000 children, peppermint decreased the incidence, duration, and severity of abdominal pain. In comparison, peppermint oil-containing capsules decreased the rate and severity of nausea and vomiting in a trial in 200 cancer chemotherapy patients. Do you find this video interesting so far? Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and ring the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. Number 2. Relieve tension headaches and migraines. Since peppermint serves as a muscle relaxant and pain reliever, some forms of headaches may be minimized. Peppermint oil menthol increases blood flow and creates a cooling sensation, possibly reducing discomfort. In one randomized trial in 35 migraine patients, peppermint oil added to the forehead and temples greatly decreased discomfort after 2 hours compared to placebo oil. Number 3. Freshen your breath. There is an explanation of why peppermint is a popular flavoring for toothpaste, mouthwashes, and chewing gums. In addition to its good scent, peppermint has antibacterial properties that can destroy germs that create dental plaque, which can enhance your breathing. In one study, people who had undergone spine surgery and had been rinsed with peppermint, tea tree, and lemon oil experienced an improvement in complaints of poor breath relative to those who did not obtain oils. In another report, schoolgirls with a peppermint mouth rinse witnessed an improvement in breathing after 1 week relative to the control group. Number 4. May relieve clogged sinuses. Peppermint has antibacterial, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory effects. Because of that, peppermint tea may combat clogged sinuses due to infections, common colds, and allergies. The study also reveals that menthol, one of the active compounds in peppermint, improves the sense of airflow in your nasal cavity. As a result, steam from peppermint tea will make you feel as if breathing is easier. Moreover, warm beverages such as chicken broth and tea have been found to temporarily relieve the effects of sinus congestion, possibly due to their vapors. While peppermint tea has not been tested for its effects on nasal congestion, research indicates that it could be beneficial. Number 5. May improve energy. Peppermint tea can increase energy levels and reduce exhaustion during the day. Although there are no studies directly on peppermint tea, evidence suggests that natural compounds in peppermint may have beneficial effects on health. In one study, 24 healthy young people reported less exhaustion during a cognitive exam when provided oiled peppermint capsules. In another study, peppermint oil aromatherapy has been shown to reduce the occurrence of daytime sleepiness. Number 6. May help relieve menstrual cramps. Since peppermint serves as a muscle relaxant, menstrual cramps can be eased. Although peppermint tea has not been tested to this effect, peppermint extracts have been shown to relieve symptoms. In one study in 127 women with painful periods, peppermint extract capsules were shown to be as effective as nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory medications in reducing pain severity and duration. Peppermint tea can likely have similar effects. Number 7. May fight bacterial infections. While no experiments have been performed on the antibacterial effects of peppermint tea, peppermint oil has been shown to destroy bacteria effectively. In one study, peppermint oil was found to kill and stop the development of common foodborne bacteria, including E. coli, Listeria, and Salmonella in pineapple juices and mango juices. Peppermint oil also destroys many varieties of bacteria that cause disease in humans, including Staphylococcus and pneumonia-linked bacteria. Also, tests have shown that peppermint eliminates many types of bacteria typically present in your mouth. Besides, menthol has also shown antibacterial behavior. Number 8. May improve your sleep. Peppermint tea is the best option before bed, since it is normally free of caffeine. What's more, the potential of peppermint as a muscle relaxant will help you relax until bedtime. That said, there is not much clinical evidence that peppermint improves sleep. In one study, the peppermint oil lengthened the sleeping time of the sedative-treated mice. However, another study showed that menthol had no sedative effect. Study on peppermint and sleep is therefore mixed. Number 9. May aid weight loss. Peppermint tea is naturally calorie-free and has a nice sweet taste, making it a smart choice when you're trying to lose weight. However, there is not much study into the impact of peppermint tea on weight. In a small study in 13 healthy individuals, taking a peppermint oil tablet decreased hunger relative to not taking peppermint. On the other hand, an experimental analysis found that mice provided with extracts of peppermint gained more weight than the control group. Number 10. May improve seasonal allergies. Peppermint contains rosmarinic acid, a plant compound present in rosemary and a plant found in the mint family. Rosmarinic acid is associated with decreased signs of allergic responses such as runny nose, itchy eyes, and asthma. In a randomized 21-day trial in 29 individuals with seasonal allergies, those provided with an oral supplement containing rosmarinic acid showed fewer signs of itchy nose, itchy eyes, and other symptoms than those with placebo. An experiment on a rat indicated that peppermint extract decreased allergic symptoms such as sneezing and itchy nose. Number 11. May improve concentration. Drinking peppermint tea will help boost your ability to relax and focus. While research on the effects of peppermint tea on concentration is not available, 2 minor studies have studied this beneficial impact of peppermint oil, taken by ingestion or inhalation. In one study, 24 young, healthy individuals performed dramatically better in memory tests when they were given peppermint oil capsules. In another research, smelling peppermint oil was found to enhance memory and attentiveness compared to ylang ylang, another common essential oil. Number 12. Easy to add to your diet. Peppermint tea is tasty and simple to add to the diet. You can buy it in tea bags, like loose leaf tea, or you can just cultivate your own peppermint. To make your own tea with peppermint, boil 2 cups of water, turn the heat off and apply a couple of broken peppermint leaves to the water, cover and steep for 5 minutes, strain the tea, and drink. Since peppermint tea is naturally free from caffeine, you can drink it at any time of the day. Enjoy it as a post-meal drink to support metabolism, in the afternoon to improve your stamina, or before bed to help you relax. Peppermint tea and natural compounds found in peppermint leaves can help your health in a variety of ways. Though there is little study on peppermint tea, numerous studies outline the advantages of extracts of peppermint oil and peppermint. Peppermint can help boost digestion, refresh your breath, and increase your concentration. Besides, this mint has antibacterial properties and can improve symptoms of allergy, headaches, and clogged airways. Peppermint tea is a tasty, naturally sweet, caffeine-free beverage that can be comfortably drunk at any time of the day. Is peppermint tea your favorite tea? Let us know in the comments section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I can't grow this channel without your support. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Stay healthy!
Who knew all of that about peppermint tea? Who knew that? All those benefits of peppermint tea. Let's see what you all are drinking out here. Let's see. Let us see. What are you drinking? So Lisa says, Shalawam, my beautiful sisters. Shalawam, Lisa. Good to see you. Sister Jeanette says, I'm about to have an immunity booster tea. My household is under the weather. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Sister Jeanette. Please get well soon. Praying for your healing. Sister Carla says, ginger, turmeric, black pepper tea with lemon. Oh, well, of course. All the antioxidants are in there. Sister Lisa says ginger peach turmeric tea. So the ginger turmeric tea is on point tonight. Oh my goodness. Sister Jeanette says, my son is going on 2 weeks with this. Oh my goodness, what is going on? What's going on out there? Is it a flu? Is it a flu that's, let's see, Sister Carla. Okay. Yeah, those teas do sound refreshing. Yes, they do. So once again, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We're about to get started. Also, we do not promote on social media because I do not have an account on any social media platforms. So I depend on your support to share this channel and also to invite other sisters, family, friends by word of mouth to join us. So please do, share the word, spread the word about Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty. All right. So last week's show, how many of you were here last week for our show on integrative medicine? How many of you were here? And what did you think of it? What did you think of last week's show? If you weren't here live for the show, have you watched the recording? Wasn't it packed with a lot of information? So thanks again to Yanni Robinson, integrative health practitioner, for taking the time to share her wealth of knowledge with us. So have any of you considered incorporating an integrative health practitioner as part of your treatment team? Sister Carla said, loved it. I saw the recording. Oh, all praises. Sister Princess says, Khan, very informative. All praises. That is so good to hear. That's so good to hear. Yeah, it really was quite informative. And once again, that was my daughter that was on with me, and she is an integrative health practitioner. So she will be coming more often for these shows and giving her input. Okay, so I'm looking forward to having her on the show again. Sister Jeanette said I wasn't on, but I've watched it afterwards. All right, it was great. Opened my eyes to a new way of looking at health. Absolutely. And that's what this is about, right? That's what this is about, is to learn other ways more natural ways, healthy ways to stay and become healthy. So welcome to the first Sunday of February. We're in February already. This month's theme is Functional Nutrition Month. Functional Nutrition Month on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty. So every Sunday this month, we will be delving into topics pertaining to functional nutrition. So tonight's show, The Art of Mindful Eating, is going to be so amazing. It's going to be so amazing. So by the way, I recently went to training in functional nutrition. It's a school called PESI, and I received my certification, my credentials as a certified functional nutrition informed professional. I know that's a mouthful. CFNIP, Certified Functional Nutrition Informed Professional. And I've been certified through Evergreen Certifications. And so since my retirement from healthcare as a PA, a physician assistant, I've been kind of pursuing a new, the water, Sister Jeanette, the water. Praise the Most High. I've been pursuing a new career path, more towards functional medicine. As you probably can tell from the topics that I've been presenting lately and the avenues that I've been taking in regards to treatment and healing, I'm sure it's been obvious that I've been going on a different path, a different journey. And as a matter of fact, it's not so far off the beaten path for me, because I've always tried to incorporate natural and holistic treatments in my patients' treatment plans. So this is not new for me. However, receiving the certifications and actually going through training so that I can learn how to do this myself rather than just referring out. And so this is the new path that I'm on, and I'm so excited about it. So that brings us to tonight's topic. Tonight's topic, right? We just talked about that. Mindful eating, the art of mindful eating. So you may be wondering, what is functional nutrition? What is mindful eating? Why is it an art? Do you know that eating is more, it's more than, it involves more than just what you eat. When you're eating, it's not just about putting food in your mouth and eating. There's just so much more that's going on. Do you know that how you eat is important too, not just what you eat? So all of that will be explained during this incredibly informative broadcast tonight. So let's talk about how we eat and why it's so important to pay attention to how we eat. So let's get started. If you don't know what functional nutrition is, let's delve into that first. Let's take a look at this article by integrativenutrition.com, and it is called What is Functional Nutrition? Let's delve into that first before actually going into mindful eating. What is functional nutrition? And this article is by the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. So that word integrative is being thrown around a lot lately on this channel, isn't it? So this is, once again, what is functional nutrition? Let's talk about it. So it says the term nutrition encompasses so many concepts, ideologies, and theories that it can feel difficult to keep up with. To keep up with what's right, what's wrong, or what's in the latest trend. With nutrition science ever changing and evolving, we look to experts to tell us what to include and what to avoid in our diets. And like I've been saying lately that, we don't want to look at eating as diet. What we're trying to do here is lifestyle changes, right? So let's see here. There are indeed foundational nutrition concepts that can benefit us all. Less refined carbohydrates, less processed foods, and more focus on real whole foods. But contrary to what the diet industry often asks us to believe, when it comes to the best diet for everyone, it doesn't exist. And here's why. To honor your bio individuality, the unique qualities that make up you and only you, the foods you eat, as well as your lifestyle practices, will look different from everyone else's. And that's true, right? I may eat something and I may have a reaction to it, and you can eat that same something and not react to it. Your bio-individuality determines your nutritional needs from one day to the next and during different phases in your life. By listening to what your body needs and wants, you'll be better able to nourish yourself with the foods that work for you, rather than everyone on your Instagram feed. So how do you kick off this process of figuring out the foods that work and don't work for you? That is where functional nutrition comes in. So what is functional nutrition? Functional nutrition is the holistic approach to diet, taking into consideration one's lifestyle factors that could affect their food choices, such as activity levels, environment, or the presence of chronic disease. You may be wondering how this is different from standard nutrition practice, but the key is in the holistic approach. Standard nutrition focuses on the nutritional facts, such as a food or food group's ability to promote or damage health, whether it's good or bad for you. Functional nutrition looks at those facts too, but in the context of an individual's physiological makeup and how they live, such as how often they move, the quality of their relationships, and their stress level. Eventually, just because a food or food group has been demonstrated as being good for you, it doesn't mean it's good for you. Functional nutrition means one size doesn't fit all. So this goes into the contrast between functional nutrition versus standard nutrition. The practice of functional nutrition is similar to that of functional medicine, though the terms are not meant to be used interchangeably. Functional medicine is a patient-centered practice rather than a disease-centered practice. It focuses on the body as a whole ecosystem, and the main goal is to address the root cause of symptoms, such as gastrointestinal distress, skin issues, and brain fog. These symptoms can be clues to potential food-related health issues, such as nutritional deficiencies, food sensitivities, or food allergies. Practicing functional nutrition mirrors the functional medicine approach where food is medicine. Food has the power to heal or harm, and the practice of functional nutrition centers around the individual. And this goes into this program's, their health coaching training program and what it teaches you. We're not going to go into that, but I will definitely share this link in the chat box just in case you want to learn more about the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. It says here, functional nutrition can better promote health, especially for those who have received standard nutrition recommendations, but are still experiencing symptoms. For example, if you're continuing to gain weight despite eating healthier and increasing physical activity, from a standard nutrition point of view, you're doing all the right things. From a functional nutrition point of view, there are other things to consider to figure out this unexplained weight gain, such as thyroid dysfunction, hormonal imbalances, a need to detox the gut, and even high stress levels. So here are some of the pros and cons of functional and standard nutrition. The pros of functional nutrition: tailored to meet your unique needs, easier to put into practice because dietary choices are explained by a practitioner who knows your health history and lifestyle practices. Looks at the food you are eating in the context of your lifestyle practices to make sure you're nourishing your body well. So what are the cons of functional nutrition? Depending on the expert or practitioner you visit for functional nutrition guidance, it could be more expensive than a standard nutritionist visit. So here's the pros of standard nutrition. Depending on the expert practitioner, the visit could be less expensive, especially if you're looking for more general nutrition advice. And what are the cons of standard nutrition? It could be more difficult to put standard nutrition advice into practice depending on a variety of factors, such as being sensitive to the foods recommended, not ruling out the root causes of your symptoms, or the practitioner not fully knowing or understanding your unique history. How to practice functional nutrition. Practicing functional nutrition can look like embracing the holistic health concept as you make daily nutritional choices or incorporating functional nutrition into your work as a wellness practitioner. And this goes more into the career information rather than this is about the career path. But like I said, I will put this link in the chat box for you. But this gives you an overview of what functional nutrition is. So it's more holistic. And like it says, it's tailored towards your unique needs, right? Rather than just a one-size-fit-all type of diet. Here we go. So Sister Zion, she says, yeah, Jugo Benji. Shalawam says, so good to see you. Shalawam. So that is an overview of functional nutrition. That's just an overview. So now that you know what functional nutrition is, we're going to talk about a very important aspect of functional nutrition, which is mindful eating. So what is mindful eating, you might ask? Simply put, it is how you eat. How you eat is just as important as what you eat. It involves, number one, the act of paying attention to your food on purpose, moment by moment, without any judgment, and being fully present while eating and not being distracted. So it's being mindful of what you're eating. It enhances your awareness of food as well as your experience with food. It involves a process-oriented rather than an outcome-driven behavior. So it's about the process. That's the main purpose of mindful eating. It's keeping you in the moment. So while you're eating, you're being fully aware of what you're eating, how you're eating. And it helps, by doing so, it helps to adjust your eating behaviors. Because a lot of times we don't even realize that we have bad eating habits or behaviors until we become very mindful about how we're eating. So that's what mindful eating is going to do. It's going to help us to identify how we're eating and if we are eating to help or to hinder our experience with food. It has been shown to promote weight loss, reduce binge eating, reduce emotional eating, and improve vitality. So let's start at the beginning. You must understand that mindful eating begins before you sit down at the table with a plate of food in front of you, fork in hand, mouth opened, and ready to dig in, right? It begins way before that. Mindful eating starts by considering, number one, where the food originated that you're eating, the way it was grown or manufactured before it ended up in the grocery store where you bought it. So that's where we have to start thinking, right? How was this food grown? Unless you're blessed to be able right now to grow your own fruit, vegetables, and livestock, you need to start thinking about, where's this food coming from? So you get where I'm going with this. So being mindful of the origin of the food. Is it organic? Is it non-GMO? Is it GMO? These are the questions that you need to ask before you're sitting at the table eating the food, right? These are such important things that we need to know, and especially now, right? Especially now where now we have lab-grown meats. Who would have thought a few years ago that we would be even sitting here talking about meat grown in a lab when there are cows everywhere? I don't get that. And then genetically modified organism foods, when there's so much land out there that where farmers can grow real food. I don't get it. But now that we're in this place where we're at, we need to be so mindful of what we are eating. I mean, more so than when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I was blessed enough to have where My mother, and I've mentioned this before, my mother grew all kinds of fruits and vegetables in the backyard. We had our own chickens and eggs, and we would, we slaughtered our own chickens, eggs. We would buy a goat and slaughter the goat. And then my brother, he loved to fish, so he would go and get fresh fish. And so I grew up in that type of an environment on an island. So where we are at right now and hearing about meats being grown in a lab, that's like foreign. Who would have ever thought about that? So this is where mindfulness comes in. Like I said before, you are sitting at the table and getting ready to eat. But have you ever heard, I know you have. You've heard where it's been said, and you probably have said this before as well, never go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Never go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Why is that so important? Well, because all of our senses are involved when it comes to eating, right? So I want us to check out this article by today.com, and it talks about why we should not go to the grocery store while hungry. Let's take a deep dive into this. Why that's not such a good idea. So it says here, and this is today.com, it says grocery shopping while hungry, not a good idea. Study confirms. So we've known this, right? Because I know we've all experienced this. When you go to the grocery store when hungry, you come home and you're wondering, how did this thing end up in the shopping cart, right? So it says here, if you've ever gone grocery shopping while you're hungry, you know the task can be challenging. Everything looks good. Now, new research confirms that grocery shopping when your stomach is rumbling is probably not a good idea. To hungry shoppers, high-calorie foods may be more tempting than usual, the researchers said. In the study, researchers asked 68 people to come to their lab and to avoid that is weird. It just stopped right there. Let's scroll down some more. There we go. To avoid eating for 5 hours before they came. Upon arrival, half of the participants were told they could eat as many wheat crackers as they wanted, while the other half were not given any food. Both groups of participants were then asked to grocery shop in an online store that offered high-calorie foods, such as candy, salty snacks, and red meat, as well as low-calorie foods such as fruits, vegetables, and chicken breasts. Participants who were hungry purchased more high-calorie products. The researchers found, on average, hungry people purchased 5.7 high-calorie products, while the group that ate before shopping bought 3.9 high-calorie products. In a second experiment, the researchers led by Brian Wansinski, director of the Food and Brand Lab at Cornell University, analyzed purchases of 82 people in a real-world grocery store. They compared the purchases of those who went shopping between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. and after lunch period, when people are less likely to be hungry, to those who went shopping between 4 and 7 p.m., when people are more likely to be hungry. Those who shop between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. bought fewer low-calorie products compared with those who shop between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., buying 8 products versus 11 products. Even short-term food deprivation can lead to a shift in choices such that people choose less low-calorie and relatively more high-calorie food options. The researchers wrote in the May 6th issue of the Journal for the American Medical Association. The findings suggest people should be more careful about their choices when food deprived and possibly avoid choice situations when hungry by making choice while in less hungry states, the researcher says. So from the studies, we can see that, like it says here, it is not a good idea to go grocery shopping when you are hungry. So doesn't that make sense right now? Why fast food restaurants were created and why they thrive so well? Just drive by a drive-through and look at the numbers of cars that are in line during breakfast, lunch, and dinner hours. These are the times when people are hungry. And instead of going to a restaurant or what have you, where you can actually sit down and have a meal, most people tend to go to the fast food joints to get a quick meal to curb that hunger. And as we know, those meals are high calories and they're not good for you. So that's not a grocery store, but it's the same concept. So mindful eating involves also planning ahead what you're going to eat before you're already hungry. So as mentioned before, the art of mindful eating involves planning ahead. What are you going to eat? How are you going to prepare it? Or where are you going to go if you're eating out? So these are things to plan ahead, like in the mornings, making sure that you have, maybe make lunch to take to work with you rather than waiting until lunchtime when you're at work and trying to figure out what you're going to eat. More than likely, you're going to make some poor choices at that time. And if you're going out to dinner, planning ahead where you're going to dinner rather than just driving around and the first thing that you see, because usually you're going to end up making some very unwise decisions when it comes to food choices. So the art of mindful eating. Let's paint a picture. Sister Carla says, congratulations on your certification. The water, sis. The water, Sister Jeanette. The water, yay. You know what? I love doing these broadcasts. Why? Because it challenges me. It really challenges me. And I love learning. I've always been, even growing up, I've always enjoyed reading and learning new things. So for me, I'm not only learning just to learn, I'm learning to make these changes myself. And so because I'm learning this, making these changes myself, I also enjoy sharing this journey with you, to have you on this journey with me so we can go on this health journey together. Isn't it more fun doing things with others? So I really enjoy learning and also sharing. So part of the art of mindful eating is how you prepare your food, right? So we're not even to the point yet of where we're actually eating. We're at the table eating. So first we were talking about making sure that we're selecting the right foods, going to the grocery stores and not going to the grocery store when you're hungry, because you're going to end up putting a bunch of junk in the shopping cart, right? So now that we've gone shopping, hopefully selected the quality ingredients, right? So once again, let's just paint this picture of mindful eating. How you prepare your food is important. The care that you take in selecting quality ingredients, that's an art. The care that you take in prepping and cooking the food at the proper temperature, and also handling the food to avoid contamination of the food. The care that you take when arranging the food on the plate to make it look appealing and delicious. When you look at your plate, once you do sit down and you're ready to eat your meal, your plate should be colorful. It should be a colorful tapestry of nutritious ingredients. That's when you know that you have a lot of nutrition on your plate, is the colors, right? Healthy foods are so colorful. So when you look at the plate, it should be a colorful tapestry of nutritious ingredients that emits a sweet fragrance that excites all of your senses, right? So it's visually appealing, the food smells good, and then more than likely your mouth is going to start to water. Right? All of your senses should be heightened when you look at this plate of food. Let's see. I have more comments here. I love, Sister Jeanette says, I love these shows as well. I've learned so much from you and others. So it's all confirmation of what we need to do in our lives together. I agree totally, Sister Jeanette. Oxamar, Izo. Shalawam says, Shalawam. Is that Oxamar? Shalawam, good to see you as well. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. The water for showing up, you all. The water for showing up. So you just painted that picture, right? Of this beautiful, colorful plate of food, and the aroma, the smell. Oh my goodness. That's part of mindful eating, is starting with your eyes, starting with your nose, right? So as a matter of fact, I'm going to show a picture of what I had for lunch today. Let me show you a picture of what my lunch looked like today. I mean, it's nothing like going into a gourmet restaurant or anything like that, but I do want to show you what I had for lunch, and I'll talk about it. Give me just a second. Let me get this on the screen. Give me just a second here. There it is. So this was my plate of lunch today. And what I had here was this salad, and it had all of, oh my goodness, I had broccoli in here, Brussels sprouts, kale, red and green cabbage. And I made a dressing, and it was a sriracha spicy dressing. It was a vinaigrette with olive oil. So delicious, right? And salmon seasoned to the T, and quinoa. And the quinoa has all kinds of vegetables in it. And curry was the spice that I used in my quinoa. So here I have, like I said, the salad. I think the colors are beautiful. The quinoa, the aroma from the curry was so, it just smelled so good. And then the salmon, just delicious, right? So I just wanted to share this with you, and we'll talk. I may bring this picture up again later in the broadcast, just because there's another aspect that I want to talk about with mindful eating, and we're going to use this plate as an example, not just visually, because I want it to be and for someone else, this may not be visually appealing to you, right? So knowing what is visually appealing to you or what aromas you like are very important when you're preparing your food. So like I said, we're going to come back to this picture later on. We're going to come back to that when we get to another aspect of mindful eating. So if you're a lover of junk and unhealthy foods, it's time to start retraining your senses to be turned on by healthy foods and turned off by the foods that are unhealthy. And you can retrain your senses in that way. First, you can start by associating the good food with health. So even right now, you may say, I don't like salads. I just don't like salads. But when you start thinking about it and associating it with health, eventually, if you want to become healthy, eventually that salad is going to become more appealing. And it's the same with the bad foods. If you start associating the bad foods, the processed foods, if you start associating that with sickness and disease, no matter how good they may taste, eventually you're going to be so turned off because your aim is towards health. And so anything that has the potential to cause sickness and disease will be a turn off. Simply put, just break up with junk food and fall in love with healthy foods. It's as simple as that. Give the bad food the boot, kick it out, and just start incorporating new healthy foods. I wouldn't say to start, just jump right in and throw everything out that you've been accustomed to, but start replacing one thing at a time, right? Throw out the bad and replace it with something good. And once you become accustomed to that, do that again with something else. So as you can see, we're mindfully eating before we've actually even sat down to the table. So, okay, now that your senses are heightened, I know you can't wait to just dig in and start eating, but not so quickly, right? One step at a time. One step at a time. You're finally at the table, food on the plate, knife and fork in hand. What are you going to do next? What's the next step? Are you going to just shove the food in your mouth by the forkful or spoonfuls? Are you going to have your cell phone in hand? Are you going to be texting? Are you even sitting down? Or are you eating on the run? Absolutely, Sister Jeanette. You're on point. You're on point. Absolutely. But so many of us, we're sitting at, you're sitting at the table and you're eating and you have the cell phone, or we're so distracted with other things, right? Today's fast-paced cultures carries over into how we eat. Because we're doing everything fast, now we're eating fast. Do you realize that it takes the brain about 20 minutes to receive the fullness signal? So it takes your brain about 20 minutes after your stomach is full to receive that message. So you must slow down when eating. Otherwise, you'll eat a whole pizza in 10 minutes, then wonder why you feel overstuffed and sick afterwards. Your brain didn't get the signal that you were full yet. So we are also very distracted, which shifts the attention away from the actual act of eating. We're distracted with TV, computers, phones, and instead of mindful eating, we are eating mindlessly. Sister Adara says, I definitely have made changes in what I buy. I'm definitely eradicating high fructose syrup products. Absolutely. Yeah, those are out the door with a boot, kicked out. Yes, those high fructose corn syrup. No. So I'm glad to hear that you've made some changes, Sister Adara. So mindfulness definitely necessitates, as Sister Jeanette says, giving thanks, an attitude of gratitude. That is definitely at the top of the list, right? A place of thankfulness. So before you eat, you must give thanks to the Creator for preparing the table of your daily bread that is in front of you. So starting off, once you're sitting at the table and with prayer, an attitude of gratitude for that food is key, is number one. So using mindfulness to gain full attention to one's eating experience, your cravings, and the physical cues while eating. That's important, because while you're eating, your body is giving you cues about this food that you're eating. So being mindful. And even before you start eating, are you having cravings for certain things? Because that could indicate also maybe there's a deficiency somewhere. Mindful eating is also the cornerstone of fixing a difficult relationship with food. Some people just have a bad relationship with food where it's all about emotion. You eat certain things just because it's emotionally driven. And mindful eating supports optimal digestion and therefore the gut and the brain function. So when you're mindful of that, you're also connecting the gut and the brain. And it involves incorporating all of your senses. Look at your food. Is it appealing to the eyes? And once, yeah, let me pull up this picture again. Let me bring this picture up, because I'm going to talk about this plate. So today I was really trying to incorporate mindful eating. I have to admit I was a bit distracted because I was in the academy at the time that I was eating lunch. So I was listening. On one end, I was on the computer, so it wasn't very mindful as far as paying total attention, but I needed to be in the academy. So I made an exception. However, I was still being mindful of my senses, right? So I looked at my food and it was visually appealing to me. I love the colors. It was really colorful, has, peas and beans and corn. And like I mentioned, all of the colors of the salad, and then also the salmon. How does it smell? These are questions that you need to ask yourself when you're eating, right? So this is all a part of mindful eating. How does the food smell? Is it aromatic? Can you smell the spices? And I did. I smelled that curry. And once I started smelling that curry, because I love curry. I love curry and turmeric. But the curry, that aroma from the curry, that gets your salivary glands to really getting it worked up. And then when I was eating, I was, being mindful of how it feels. What's the texture like? So each aspect, each ingredient, each part of my meal had a different texture, and I took the time to feel those textures. The crunch that came with the salad, right? The softness of the quinoa. Some of the vegetables were a little softer than the others. And then, of course, the salmon, the texture of the salmon as well. And what does it taste like? So I also allowed myself to enjoy the different flavors. I took the time to savor the flavor and to identify, like I said, the different spices, the sriracha that was in the vinaigrette, the spice there, the heat that came from that. And then the curry, and then the spices that I used to season the salmon. So all of that plays a role in mindful eating. So you're not just sitting there putting forkfuls of food in your mouth and not really paying attention to what is really going on in your mouth at that time. So mindful eating, take time to really taste your food. Trying to taste all and differentiate the different ingredients. Appreciating the textures, the soft, the crunchy, the smooth. And you have to eat mindfully to truly appreciate all of the different characteristics of the ingredients that make up your meal. And each meal is going to be different, right? Because you're not going to be eating the same meal over and over and over again. So each meal is an experience. When you take the time to really analyze your food that way. So mindful eating involves eating in the moment, being fully present, not being distracted with everything else that's going on, eating slowly. That's important, because you're not going to be able to taste all those flavors if you're eating fast. This is another key point in mindful eating. It's chewing until your food is liquid before swallowing. So I remember I had heard somewhere before where there was a specific number that they would say, oh, chew your food so many times before swallowing. But that doesn't make sense, because each part of your food, for instance, the quinoa, you're not going to have to chew the quinoa as long as you will the salmon before it becomes liquid, right? So each part of the meal should be treated as an individual. Mindful eating involves no distractions, especially technology or work, and eating only until you're full. And you're not going to know that unless you're being mindful. And once again, eating slowly, because it takes about 20 minutes for the brain to receive the signal that you're full. So take your time. Take your time. It shouldn't be a rush. You shouldn't be in a hurry when you're eating your meal. Mindful eating also involves distinguishing between true hunger and non-hunger triggers to eat. So are you eating because you're hungry, or are you eating because you're emotional? What's the reason? Or you're bored? So mindful eating will help you to identify, what is the purpose why I'm eating right now? And then, as we mentioned earlier, it also involves engaging all of your senses when you're eating your meal. Your eyes, your nose, the mouth, the different areas of your tongue that may have more sensitive to bitter, to sweet. And also appreciating your food. Oh my gosh, appreciate the food. That's part of mindful eating. Sometimes we just eat and go, oh my gosh, I really don't want to eat this, or you despise the food that you're eating. Don't despise the food. Enjoy the food, no matter how simple it is. So there's an exercise. It's a mindful eating exercise. And step 1 is taking 3 deep belly breaths. So not from the chest, but from the belly, prior to eating, to help bring you into the moment and help you to relax the mind and the body. Yeah, relax before eating. You don't have to be really tensed and worked up. So take some time to really relax so that you can really start enjoying your food. Step number 2, eat in a relaxed, positive environment and sit down. Not eating on the run, not standing at the counter, but actually sitting down in a relaxed, positive environment. And no work. No activities to distract you from your meal. And also encourage social interactions and communications. I remember growing up, there were a lot of us, I mentioned before, my parents had 8 children and adopted 1 more, so a total of 9 of us. So coming from a big family, and we would have dinner at the big dining room table and have conversations and talk and, just talk about the day and about any and everything, right? And that's something that we've lost. We've lost that as a people. So we're this busy lifestyle that we live, so many times parents aren't able to sit down with their children and just enjoy a meal together and just conversate. You know, when I was in Germany and Greece, the Europeans, they've got that down. They love to just sit around and eat, break bread and laugh and talk, and that's something that we're also going to talk about, is the Mediterranean diet and the health benefits, and not just because of the food that they eat, but because of the lifestyle that they incorporate with their meals. So we're going to talk about that in one of the shows, about different types of diets. But the Mediterranean lifestyle is, like I said, the healthy foods, the healthy oils, and also family, also sitting down with family and friends, and the communication. So that's key. That's a big part. And number 3 of this exercise or this activity, chew each bite of food until it is liquid before swallowing. This aids in proper digestion and allows the nutrients to be better absorbed and utilized by the body. And it's also easier on the digestive system. So chewing your food until it's liquid. And this is going to be one of the hardest things that you will do, is mindful eating. It really is. So start with 1 meal a day to implement mindful eating. Just 1 meal a day. Start there. And once you've mastered that, 1 meal a day, then move on to another meal. So mindful eating also involves knowing what your body does with the food that you just consumed. So you've just eaten, you're full, but what is your body doing now that you've eaten? So part of mindful eating is knowing, where does the food go? You know, how does the body actually break down the food and distribute it to other parts of the body, the nutrients? So let's watch a short video on digestion. This is just a reminder of the incredible and amazing function of just one system of the body that the Most High has blessed us with, the digestive system. This is just one system, and you're going to see how amazing this system is. The human digestive system. How does the digestive system work? Let's look at this. And this video is by Demystifying Science and Fair Use. Let's look at this video about digestion.
Have you ever wondered why food is essential for humans, and how this food, made of complex particles, breaks down into tiny particles? This all happens through a proper system in our body called the digestive system. The food we eat contains complex particles like carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, etc. The organs present in the digestive system break these complex particles into simple particles, so our body can derive energy from the food. This energy is vital for all body systems to function properly. The digestive system also plays a role in excreting waste food from the body. The digestive system is a muscular tract or passage with a mouth at one end and an anus at the other. This tract is also known as the gastrointestinal tract, digestive tract, or alimentary canal. Inside the gastrointestinal tract are many hollow organs connected in a long series. These organs help break down food, transport essential nutrients like sugars and proteins into the blood, and excrete waste food from the body. These organs include the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. Additionally, the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, and some glands contribute to food digestion. An adult human's alimentary canal can be up to 30 feet or 9 meters long. Now, let's study these organs one by one in detail. Number 1. Mouth. The mouth is the first organ of the digestive tract. As soon as you take the first bite of food, digestion starts right away. The mouth is also referred to as the oral or buccal cavity, and it consists of 3 essential parts: teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. These parts physically digest the food. The tongue, a muscular organ, helps taste the food and aids in rolling and swallowing it. The teeth grind and crush the food into tiny pieces so that it can be easily digested. This process is called mastication. The third essential part of the mouth is the salivary glands, found in pairs near our ears, beneath the tongue, and close to the lower jaw. They produce saliva, which lubricates food, making chewing and swallowing easier. Saliva, a transparent liquid, contains special enzymes like amylase and lysozyme. Amylase, also known as pyelin, helps in digesting carbohydrates, while lysozyme kills bacteria and fungi, preventing them from growing in our mouth and protecting us from diseases. Thus, it wouldn't be wrong to say that saliva is extremely important for oral hygiene. A healthy person produces approximately 1 to 1.5 liters of saliva in 24 hours. Partial digestion occurs in the mouth, and this partially digested food is known as bolus. Number 2. Pharynx. The bolus passes from our mouth to the second organ of our digestive system, called the pharynx or throat. This is a passage that connects the mouth and esophagus and serves as a path for both food and air. Number 3. Esophagus. The partially digested food, or bolus, enters the esophagus from the pharynx. Also known as the food pipe, the esophagus
Fair
is a
use
25
for
centimeters
educational
long,
purposes only.
1.5 to 2 centimeters wide muscular passage connecting the pharynx at one end and the stomach at the other. Alongside the food pipe, there is a windpipe present in the human body. When we breathe, air passes through the windpipe to the lungs. Conversely, to prevent food from entering the windpipe, a cover called the epiglottis is present over its opening. During swallowing, this epiglottis covers the windpipe, and the tongue pushes the bolus into the food pipe. The food reaches the stomach through muscular contractions called peristalsis. At the end of the esophagus, there's a muscular valve called the sphincter. Once the partially digested food completely enters the stomach, this valve closes, preventing liquids or solid food from moving back into the mouth. If these muscular contractions reverse, it's called antiperistalsis, and it can cause vomiting. Number 4. Stomach. The stomach is a sac-like, J-shaped muscular organ located below the diaphragm and on the upper left side of the abdomen. Beneath the stomach, there is a leaf-shaped gland called the pancreas. In front of the stomach is the liver, and below that, on the right side of the abdomen, is a pear-shaped organ known as the gallbladder. The stomach temporarily holds partially digested food, also known as bolus, and breaks it down completely so that it can be easily transported in the blood and energy can be generated. The inner walls of the esophagus and stomach are covered with a thin membrane called the mucous membrane. In the stomach, this membrane is known as the gastric mucosa, and the epithelial cells present in it secrete gastric mucus. This mucus is not only helpful in the lubrication and breakdown of food, but also protects the inner linings of the stomach from acids. The epithelial cells of the gastric mucosa also release various gastric juices. These juices play a vital role in digesting carbohydrates and proteins present in the food. Approximately 1.2 to 1.5 liters of gastric juices are released daily. The gastric juice includes various components such as hydrochloric acid, HCl, electrolytes, and a specific protein-digesting enzyme called pepsin. Due to the hydrochloric acid, the pH of the gastric juice is highly acidic. With the help of these gastric juices and the stomach's churning action, the bolus is converted into a yellow, thick, creamy liquid called chyme. The stomach absorbs many substances like glucose, simple sugars, and amino acids. Similar to the end of the esophagus, there is also a muscular valve at the end of the stomach called the pylorus. When this valve opens, chyme enters the small intestine. As soon as the stomach empties, the pylorus valve closes to prevent food reflux, meaning the return of food to the stomach. Number 5. Small intestine. The next destination for chyme is the small intestine, which we also refer to as the small bowel. It's a loosely coiled muscular tube, 22 to 25 feet long, with a diameter of approximately 2 inches, located in our abdomen. The small intestine is divided into 3 parts: the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. With the help of pancreatic juice and bile, the small intestine assists in further digesting chyme. Pancreatic juice is released from the pancreas and contains enzymes that break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates present in chyme. Bile is produced in our liver and stored in the gallbladder. During digestion, bile is released into the small intestine through the bile duct. Bile plays a significant role in the digestion of fats in the chyme. In the duodenum portion of the small intestine, the chyme is mixed and digested, while in the jejunum and ileum parts, the digested food is absorbed into the blood. The internal lining of the small intestine has special structures called villi, singular, villus. If you look at the internal structure of villi, you will find a network of blood vessels. These villi increase the surface area of the small intestine so that food can be completely absorbed into the blood. In this way, after complete digestion in the small intestine, the maximum portion of food is absorbed into the blood, while the waste produced from food digestion moves into the large intestine. The large intestine, also known as the big bowel in our vernacular, is a muscular tube 5 to 6 feet long. It's called the large intestine not because of its length, which is actually shorter than the small intestine, but because of its wider diameter, nearly 3 inches. Like the small intestine, the large intestine also has 3 parts: the cecum, colon, and rectum. The cecum is the first part of the large intestine, while the colon connects the cecum to the rectum. Food waste travels from the small intestine to the cecum and then moves into the colon. In the colon, excessive salts and water in the waste are absorbed and enter the bloodstream, solidifying the food waste. Furthermore, bacteria present in the colon further break down food waste, completely degrading it. At this stage, the food waste is referred to as stool or feces. Beyond the colon, the third part of the large intestine begins, called the rectum. The colon delivers stool to the rectum 1 to 2 times a day. The rectum is an 8-inch chamber that connects the colon to the anus. The main functions of the rectum include receiving stool from the colon, temporarily storing it, and excreting it from the body. Number 7. Anus. The last part of the digestive tract is the anus. It consists of 2 anal sphincter muscles, including the internal and external sphincter muscles. The upper lining of the anus has specialized sensors that detect the content of the stool and send signals to the brain, indicating whether the stool is solid, liquid, or gas. The anal sphincter muscles control the evacuation or excretion of stool from the body, because the rectum contracts and the sphincter muscles relax when signals to release stool are received from the brain, allowing waste to be easily excreted. Conversely, if no signals to release stool are received from the brain, the rectum remains relaxed while the sphincter muscles stay contracted, so the stool remains stored in the rectum. This is why our internal sphincter muscles remain in a contracted form while we sleep, so we don't need to go to the bathroom, whereas relaxation of the internal sphincter muscles triggers the need to use the bathroom. During this time, our external sphincter muscles play an important role in temporarily holding the stool. Thanks for watching.
All right. Okay, let me get this off the screen. All right. So we learned a lot about the digestive system in that short video, didn't we? Isn't our body just amazing? And like I said, that was just one body system, the digestive system. So now, oh my goodness, we've learned a lot tonight, haven't we? So now that you've learned so much about mindful eating, here's a challenge for you. This is the mindful eating challenge. At your next meal, practice mindful eating, because how you eat matters, right? How you eat really matters. So what did you all think about mindful eating? Sister Doris says, okay, I saw that. Sister Jeanette says, giving up inflammatory oils. That's right. Canola oil, not good. Not good. So, wow, what did you all think about that? How many of you are ready to practice mindful eating? How many of you have already been practicing mindful eating? Talk to me. So next week, can I get someone to come on the show and tell us about your experience with mindful eating this week? Now that we know how to eat mindfully, next week, week 2, we'll delve into mindful shopping. The water, Sister Carla, so informative. I've been trying to practice it. Amazing, awesome. Come on next week and tell us about your experience, Sister Carla, if you can. Yeah. It would be nice to have you on to talk about your experience with mindful eating. So next week, our topic is going to be mindful shopping. So the do's and don'ts of shopping for food with functional nutrition in mind. Because now your grocery shopping is going to be different, right? Because we're talking about functional nutrition. What should you buy? And also how to read the food labels. How to read food labels. So we're going to delve into that next week. Next week is functional shopping week. That's the topic for next week's show. So sisters, I really hope that you found the information useful. I hope that you will practice mindful eating. I definitely plan to. And like it says here, I'm also going to start off with 1 meal a day. And then once I get that down, then move on to the next meal so that I can actually get to the place where I am practicing mindful eating during my 3 meals of the day. So, sisters, here we are. We're at the conclusion of this show. Sister Carla says, journaling has also been helpful while trying to practice mindful eating too. Perfect. Thanks for bringing that up about the journaling. Yes, we're going to have a follow-up class, a follow-up show about journaling to see how we're doing with our journaling. And now we're having so many other topics, so many things that we need to add to our journals. So the water for bringing that up, sis. Sister Adara says, I would like to participate in that. Are you going to come on next week, Sister Adara, and talk about the mindful eating? That would be so great. So if you found this information useful tonight, please do me a favor and share this video with your sister friends and your relatives. Let's grow this channel so that this information can reach Shebrews, sisters throughout the four corners of the earth, and even those who are not Shebrews but are willing to be a part of this community, right? Because it's all about health. It's all about health and wellness. We definitely need to start, for, at least even for myself, getting on a more healthy path. So unfortunately, Shebrews, this is where the tea party ends tonight, but be sure to tune in next week for our weekly tea time with Shebrew Royalty tea party on this same channel. Thank you so much. It's the confetti in the sky says, Khan, wonderful show. I was crafting while listening, so I wasn't able to chat. I have drastically changed what I eat and buy. All praises, shopping. Okay. What about the shopping, Sister Dara? You're going to participate in that, in the mindful shopping? Wonderful. Yes, next week is going to be very informative as well. So thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for being here. The water for showing up, the water for the support. I truly appreciate you all. And like I said, share this video. Share this video so that others can get on board with the mindful eating. So know that I love you and always appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to have tea and conversation with me. The water again. Know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for us. So until the Most High brings us back together again next week, if it's His will, may you prosper and be in good health. And remember, true healing begins inwardly before it is expressed outwardly. I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, a voice of reason and justice. Have a good night. I love you all so much. Have a good night. Shalawam. Stadar says Khan. Awesome. I will see you next week, Sadara. And if it's the Most High's will, we'll chat sometime this week. I love you all so much. I will see you next week, Most High willing. Have a blessed week. Shalom.